the IMF. So you spent many, many years at the IMF. In fact, are one of the few people on the planet that knows more about program, both surveillance and program work at the IMF. What do you think about FPAS Mark II? When we think of program work, does FPAS Mark II fit in, or are there issues with it?
I think the IMF would need to adjust a bit, but I think overall, confronted with an FPAS Mark II framework, both surveillance and program design can be considerably enriched and become much more meaningful. On the surveillance side, the IMF for the last 10-15 years or so has been placing increasing emphasis on risks and risk analysis. But given that most central banks have not adjusted their frameworks in this direction, this tends to be more of a formalistic type of, you list some risks and you make some judgment calls on what they imply and how policy should respond. An FPAS 2 framework, since it incorporates uncertainty in such a central way, would allow a much more meaningful discussion of these risks, both in terms of what the impact on the economy will be and what the policy response should be if these types of risks materialize. So I think that would fit much. There is this criticism that risk analysis at the IMF tends to be rather vacuous sometimes and completely ad hoc and sometimes ad hoc. So a framework like FPAS Mark II is going to certainly enrich and help the discussions in this direction. In program settings, I think the benefits of FPAS Mark II framework is going to be at least as pronounced, if not more. After all, think what programs are. Programs, countries that come for a program with the IMF are not randomly selected. They are countries that face serious shocks and where uncertainty essentially is the name of the game. I mean, from program review to program review, very often the economic environment has changed completely since the inception of the program. So targets need to be adjusted. Monetary policy targets need to be adjusted. Again, in the absence of a risk management type approach to monetary policy, this becomes difficult, and it's difficult. It takes time to develop new baselines, for example, to reflect the reality, which are going to be imperfect anyway. But in a framework which puts uncertainty at the center of its thinking and has already ex ante developed optimal responses to risks materializing in different ways, I think this fits very naturally with program work, and it's at the heart of program work. And I think so both types of IMF relations, both surveillance and program work is going to be substantially helped by successful implementation of FPAS Mark II.
Okay, well, thank you for hosting us, Hike, and Artem. Good luck on your studies, and thanks, Ioannis, for all the effort that you put into the last 4 weeks with us. I think almost 5 weeks we've been here at the Central Bank of Armenia. So thank you, and I think we'll call it a day.
It was a great pleasure, not much less of an effort than pleasure. So it was a very nice, very nice time. I enjoyed it tremendously.
And I learned lots. Okay, so having you here, asking us difficult questions was very, very much appreciated. Okay, so thank you.